Here's a picture of me years ago when I was skinny fat, and here's a picture of me right now. I've gained over 50 pounds of lean muscle and I've built an attractive looking aesthetic physique. And in this video, I'm gonna give you the exact advice that I wish someone would have gave me when I started my fitness journey. So first, let's talk about what is an aesthetic physique. An aesthetic physique is like a classic V-taper with wide shoulders, small waist, and solid arms. And it is the opposite of hourglass shape in a woman. Like if you are a young man with high testosterone, you probably are attracted to a woman who has hourglass shape. An hourglass shape in a woman is naturally built with big breasts and round glutes and thick thighs. And most of the young men are attracted to that kind of shape in a woman. And like an hourglass shape, most women are also attracted to the V-taper physique in a man, which is an aesthetic physique. So our goal is to build an V-taper and build an aesthetic physique, which we're going to talk about in this video. And studies have shown that the most aesthetic physique has 1.6 to 1 shoulder and waist ratio. So our goal is to increase the width of our shoulder whilst having a small waist. So now let's talk about the aesthetic muscle groups. There are only 6 aesthetic muscle groups that you have to focus on to have an attractive looking physique. And the first muscle group is neck. Most of the young men are going to the gym but they are not training their neck. And neck is the symbol of having a masculine and alpha male look. If you see this picture right now, you would naturally be intimidated by the guy who has thicker neck. Even if both of them have the same physique and the same size, but thicker neck would make you look more masculine and attractive. And the next muscle group is upper traps. Upper traps is also very important to train to have an aesthetic look. And the next muscle group is upper chest. Most people train their chest in the wrong way. That's why they don't look attractive. They neglect their upper chest and they only train their middle chest and their lower chest. That's why they end up having a flabby and booby chest. So we want to have an aesthetic and plain chest. So that's why we want to focus more on our upper chest. And the next muscle group is lats. Lats is the muscle which gives you the width in your upper body and increases your shoulder to waist ratio. And mostly we want to train our upper lats to increase the width of our upper body. And the next muscle is lateral lats, which is the most aesthetic muscle. If a girl told you that I like the guys who have like bigger arms and attractive arms and everything, they're not actually talking about your arms, but they're actually talking about your shoulders, especially your side and lateral shoulders. So that's why we want to focus more on our lateral delts, which increases the width of our upper body and gives a 3D look in our shoulders. And the next muscle is abs. Abs is the most aesthetic muscle and most people are not even training their abs properly. Most people have already developed their upper abs by doing some crunches and by doing some compound exercises, but most people have underdeveloped lower abs, and that's why we want to focus more on our lower abs to have an aesthetic V line in our abs. And whilst focusing on these 6 muscle groups, we also want to focus more on our legs and especially on our quads. Because when we are talking about the V-taper physique, we are not actually talking about only the V-taper, we are also talking about the X shape, which comes from the bigger legs and bigger quads. Like the hourglass shape in a woman, we also want to have an X shape in our body. So make sure that you're also training your legs at least 2 times in a week. So now we have covered the muscle groups of an aesthetic physique. We're going to talk about the training. So when I started my fitness journey, I was doing bro splits and I did that for over 6 months, 7 months, but I didn't see the results because I was training only single muscle groups a week. So that's why I switched to push-pull legs routine, which gives me the advantage to train every muscle groups at least 2 times in a week. And if you want to see faster results in your muscle gains, I recommend you to train every muscle groups at least 2 times in a week. And you can also do some other workout splits like the Arnold split or maybe some like upper body, lower body splits if you want to go to the gym only for 3 to 4 times in a week. But make sure that you're training every muscle groups at least 2 times in a week to see faster results. And for the exercises, we're not gonna choose some general gym bro exercises like the simple bench press or standing dumbbell curls or maybe like other like military press or shoulder press or something. We're gonna train differently to look attractive than most of the guys in the gym. And I've already talked about in my other videos for the exercise that you have to do to have an aesthetic physique. You can go and check it out after watching this video. And if you're not sure about what exercise to choose and what diet plan you should follow and how you should train for aesthetic and attractive look, I break down all of the exercise and the diet plan that you should follow in my aesthetic body course, which is the first link in the description. So just go right now and click on that. There are 3 principles of training to gain more muscle mass, which is consistency, progressive overload, and training till failure. And we're going to emphasize on these three things while we are working out. We have to be consistent in this journey to see faster results. If you're not being consistent, you're not going to see results faster. You have to constantly give your body a reason to grow more muscle mass. And you have to progressive overload whilst increasing the weight that you're lifting or maybe increasing the rep range that you're doing. And you also have to train till failure to actually give your body a reason to grow. Not only like going to the gym and just throwing the weights up and down and just moving the weights for 10 reps or 12 reps and not actually hitting your potential. So you have to actually go to the failure in your sets to give your body a reason to grow more muscle mass. So now we have covered the training part. We are going to talk about the nutrition and diet. So first of all, if your goal is to increase more muscle mass, if you're skinny right now, you simply have to eat more calories. You have to be in a calorie surplus. Like whatever your daily intake is right now, you have to add at least 200 to 300 calories per day. And you can check how much calories do you need in a day from the calorie calculator online. You can just Google like calorie calculator and you have to put some metrics on that, like what's your age is and how many days you work out and everything. And that will give you a general idea that how much calories do you need. And on top of that, you're gonna add like at least 200 to 300 calories. And you're gonna keep adding more calories by weekly and maybe after 15 days. And you have to also ditch all of the processed food because our goal is to not only build more muscle but also be healthy. And if you're eating processed food and you have seen some influencer on the internet who's talking about like dirty bulking and everything, like you can eat processed food and everything, you're actually gonna end up more fatter and not building more muscle. And that's not our goal. Our goal is to build more muscle mass while keeping our body fat percentage lesser. We have to be on a less than 10% body fat and lean shredded to have an attractive look. So that's why we are going to focus only on the natural foods and we are going to also take protein from the natural foods. And for that, we are only going to focus on some few ingredients in our diet. For example, we're not going to eat some oats or some carbohydrates or some packaged foods or something. We're not going to take some supplements which has like artificial flavorings and everything. We're only going to focus on some single ingredient foods, which is meat, eggs, and dairy products, and maybe like rice or maybe something like vegetables or fruits and honey. And we're going to take protein, fats, and complex carbohydrates from those ingredients only. We're going to only rely on some natural options to also increase our testosterone levels whilst increasing the muscle mass. And as all of us know that our body needs protein to increase the muscle protein synthesis, we're going to need more protein in our diet. So that's why we're going to focus on 1 gram of protein per pound of our body weight. Like for example, if I'm 150 pounds right now, I'm going to take at least 150 grams of protein per day. And as I'm going to increase the muscle mass in my body, I'm going to keep increasing the protein intake every day. So now at the end of this video, I'm going to talk about my mindset, which helped me build an attractive and aesthetic physique faster. So when I started my fitness journey, when I was in my high school, I was only going to the gym only to look attractive. And at that time, I didn't even know about the aesthetic physique and everything. I was just going to the gym just to look attractive and just to attract girls only. And I was very impatient because I wanted to see the results faster. But there was nobody to give me knowledge about nutrition and training and everything. And I was just hoping to get attractive one day. And as I'm going to the gym, after 3-4 months, I was inconsistent in my journey. I was going to the gym for 2 weeks and then I skipped the gym for 10 days straight. And I was not consistent and patient enough to see the results. And for most of you, you might be the same. You are impatient to see the results and you end up being inconsistent in this journey. So for that, you have to remind yourself that you're not only doing this for the results and the attractiveness and building an attractive physique and everything. This is also going to build you some mental skills, which is going to help you in real life. This is also going to help you build discipline, confidence, and all the skills that you need in real life. And on some days when you don't feel like going to the gym, you have to just think to yourself that time is going to pass away anyway. Like it's going to take maybe like 1 year, 2 years, 3 years of your life, but time is going to pass away anyway and it's all going to worth it. And maybe you're thinking right now that it's gonna take only 6 months, 7 months, or maybe 1 year, but it's better for you to realize that it's gonna take longer than you think. It's gonna take years of your life to build an attractive looking aesthetic physique, but it's all gonna worth it. Like at the end of the day, you're gonna be a better person, you're gonna be a confident man, and your family and your friends and your people will respect you more, and you're gonna get the attraction and attention to the girls also. So it's all gonna worth it. So that's all in this video. I hope you liked it. Click and watch this video and subscribe to this channel. Goodbye.